Welcome to Murder.
And everything else.
My name is Joy.
And my name is Cheryl. And Joy and I are two old friends that are going to chit-chat about murder and everything else.
Yay!
Yay! Yay, yay, yay.
Just a quick disclaimer. Remember that this podcast is not for kids. We are heading away from murder this week. So while we won't be talking about blood and guts and all that kind of stuff, we are going to be probably talking about things that have adult themes. So just remember that if you have little ones around, you should probably put on some earbuds or just, not let them hear it. Also, another disclaimer for those of you who listened to last week's episode and are worried about Cheryl's overall health, she's doing well, even for the advanced and troubling overall female condition of being in her 50s.
I'm like, where is she going with this?
because you made it sound like you were like 1 foot in JJ's locker with like, I can't walk. I'm so old. Rah, rah, rah. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, cry me a river. I'm 58.
I know, but you know what? It's because 6 months ago I was in a wheelchair for a week, and that was a real scary.
Well, she's not anymore. Thank you, Jesus. It's a miracle. Pretty funny.
Yeah, that's so funny. I had no idea. I was like, what did I say last week?
Well, and on that note, let's go into our highs and lows. You want to take it away?
Yes, I do. Okay, my low, I'm going to circle back to freaking health insurance, okay? I know I've talked about this before, but not this specific topic, I believe. Just stop me if I have. But, okay, so speaking of being in a wheelchair, my knees, I have torn meniscuses in both knees, which I was told that probably most of the population are walking around with torn meniscuses. So
what's a meniscus?
It's a ligament in the knee, something, I don't know. It's the padding between, it's this padding between the something. Listen, if it's torn, it really hurts. That's all I know.
Right.
So I went to this orthopedic place and back up. I went online and I did my due diligence and I looked up in-network doctors. So I looked up the facility and then I looked further for a doctor in that facility. And then I went to her and she was great. She gave me, the first time I went, she gave me cortisone injections in both. And it actually, I felt, I woke up the next morning and I felt great. And I probably overdid it because really it's just masking the injury. So I was like just around the house. Whoa! I mean, I felt pain for so long that it was just so great. And I probably overdid it because the next day while getting ready for work, I stumbled a little bit and fell. And then my left knee, I couldn't straighten my leg. And then I was trying to hop around on my right leg, trying to get ready for work. Like I was going to be able to go in like that, hopping around on the quote unquote good knee and hopping around on that leg. And then I fell again and I could not stand up. So I had to go back to I called and the doctor I saw was not there. So they put me with somebody else. So I go to her, blah, blah, blah. What is this? It's like, I don't know, eight months later or whatever, I get the bill. And it's a lot of money. And it says your insurance has denied this. And so I called them and I go, I want to give them the dates, give them the info. And I say, can you tell me why this was denied? And they said, and they look at it and they go, that doctor is not in network. And I'm like, excuse me. So it turns out that you can go, and maybe you knew this. I did not. It's like life lessons that you learn the hard way. But I think it's just a travesty. I think our health insurance is just, it needs an overhaul. I think it's a crime. These insurance companies, auto insurance, health insurance, just who started this? Anyway, so it turns out that they, okay, I know it's debatable, but I feel like the people at the front desk who put me with this doctor should have, they do this day in and day out. You think they would have looked to see if that doctor they're putting me with was in network, looking at the doctor that not that I usually see. I only saw her once, but you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like during training, it would have been like, okay, then you need to look before you put the patient with another doctor, if they're in network. But it turns out, so I called them and they're like, oh, well, it's really in the nicest way possible. She basically told me it was my responsibility to check every single doctor. Well, when you can't stand up and you have to call into work and you're in tears because you can't straighten your legs, you're not fucking I'm like, yes, get me in with somebody today. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I'm just like, you've got to. And then I'm telling Kevin, I'm like, this is unbelievable. So in my time of crisis, I'm supposed to go then check on the doctor they're going to put me with to see if she's in network. And I know they turn around and they go, well, it's really up to you. But I'm really like going to debate that till the end because anyway, so I called the billing department and I explained, and I was like, listen, and I didn't, to come off defensive and all that shit, people don't want to hear it, right? So I was like, listen, I understand that it was supposed to be my responsibility to check, but I had no idea at that point. So can you do something? And she ended up discounting it at 35%. But it was just, that's like, what is happening? You know what I mean? And I've already told you, that's what I had said before about the couple of doctors I found, trying to establish myself with them. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, we're no longer taking insurance or cash pay only. I'm just like, what is happening in this country? It's just, so that was my low. I mean, unbelievable.
Oh, and just so you know, I looked it up. The menisci are two rubbery discs that help cushion the knee joint. You have two wedge-shaped pieces of fibrocartilage that act as shock absorbers between your femur, which is the big bone in the top of your leg, and the tibia, which is the front bone in the bottom of your leg. So that's what the meniscus or menisci are.
Got it. Yeah, I knew it was like a shock absorber. Anyway, my shock absorbers aren't shock absorbing.
Yeah, I could see why that would cause pain, because if that's gone, you basically have the biggest bone in your leg, in your body, the heaviest bone, rubbing against, you know what I mean? Like you have to bend your knees, you have to move your legs, you have to walk, you have to, I mean, your legs are very important. So yeah, that would be very painful.
That's putting it mildly.
And other very obvious, Captain Obvious pointing out the obvious again. All right. So what about your high?
Oh, my high is gonna circle back. Please, people, please try to refrain from rolling your eyeballs. But it's going to circle back to one of my dogs, Bodie, the white husky, who I explained already that I found him on the streets. The owner didn't want him back. But I didn't tell you that he was afraid of men. So I don't know what happened with his previous owner, but whatever it was, he was very afraid of men. So like when we first got him, he was just unsure of everyone, right? Because his other owners had thrown him away. So, but he was much more open to women and very afraid of men. And so the other day I'm making the bed and I look out the window, and Kevin's been working really hard on the backyard, like putting in sprinklers and more lights and stuff. And he's on his hands and knees, and Bodie's right there lying down, and he's petting Bodie. And so I'm just watching, and Bodie like stands up and he goes over and he rubs his head in Kevin's neck, and like they have this moment. And I'm just like, this is a dog that went from fearing men to this. It was like a real bro moment. And it was so heartwarming. Oh my God. They were just like kind of wrestling around and oh, it was so, so sweet. So that's my
Aw,
high. Yeah.
that's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Bodhi is so cute. You guys, I have two white dogs, and one is the German Shepherd, and Bodhi's a white dog, and he's husky, part husky. Is he
No, he's
full
husky.
husky or part
Yeah,
husky?
he's a full, yeah, white
And
husky.
Bodhi and Bruno look the same from certain angles. The only difference is because Bruno's a German Shepherd, he has those really, really big ears. And Bodhi's ears are a little bit shorter, but because they both have perky, pointy ears,
Mm-hmm.
they sometimes look like they could be related. It's really
No,
cute.
well, you sent me a picture of Bruno in your wherever it was, but it was close enough where you couldn't see. I kind of zoomed in and showed it to Kevin so he couldn't see the surroundings, and so he looked
Mhm.
at it and he thought it was Bodhi.
Aw,
Yeah, and the only
funny.
unless you're looking at the eyes because Bruno has brown eyes and Bodhi has blue, but they look so much alike. Yeah,
Right.
but he is so sweet. Bodhi is so sweet. It's just,
Aw.
yeah. But he went from being afraid of men to just loving on. Yesterday, I was playing with him in his kennel area, and Kevin was like walking back through and forth through the house. And he would like Bodhi would humor me with he'd bring me the toy and then I'd toss it and then he'd bring it back and then he'd circle around and then he'd sit down and he'd wait for Kevin. I was like chopped liver. He was like, yeah, mom, yeah.
Aw.
I'm waiting for dad. Here, I'll bring the toy back for you to make you happy, but I'm really waiting for dad. It was so cute, I swear. But
Aw,
it
that's
was
so
so neat
cute.
because I caught this moment. You know what I mean? This unexpected moment. I was just making the bed and I looked and I saw them having this moment. It was really sweet. Anyway,
Aw, that's
what's
so
your highs
cool.
and lows? Yeah, it's so cool.
Well, it's funny. Um, I just felt like my highs and lows this week were gonna be so blah. But
You are never
um
blah.
aw, that's nice. So my low is right now it's technology. Uh, just the constant reminder that uh when you get used to something and then there's got to be an update or whatever, it's just so
uh,
frustrating sometimes.
yes.
And also, I mean, for those of you who are listening to this, there's a lot more hoops involved right now in making this happen. So it's just time consuming, it's frustrating, and I have like maybe 3 or 4 YouTube channels that I like to follow, and they generally update and post a new video maybe every 2 weeks, and I know why. It's
Yeah.
because it required the editing process. There is so much work done on the back end. I would dare say that for a 10 to 15-minute video, they are probably putting in 8 to 10 hours of work. And so if you're doing a video, like some of the ones I like are like lifestyle, where they just kind of focus on the meals they're having, the projects they're working on, maybe a little gardening project, a little knitting project, a cooking project, putting all that together to make it look like they've condensed a week or 2 weeks into 10 to 15 minutes. That's a huge undertaking
Yes. Yeah.
because you're not just editing content, you're also editing out, funny noises, and you're editing in some other noise over that, and you're putting in music at the beginning and the end, and you're picking the best of, what's happened in 2 weeks, but also, at the last minute maybe you're like, well, I'm going to take, that out, or I'm going to put anyway, it's It is a huge undertaking.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
no. The YouTube channels that I watch, they've somewhere along the line mentioned how it takes a long time, and it's because
Mhm.
it's a video too. It's not just audio. It's even it's even more work. So yeah, it is a lot of work. And
It really is.
one day we are going to show our listeners or let them hear how
You mean, yeah,
our
that's right.
our real
Uh-huh.
stellar moments
Yeah,
when we have
cliffhanger,
lost it. We have lost it because
right? Cliffhanger. Stay tuned for the blooper reel
yes,
coming soon. All 54 listeners, guess what?
you get a peek behind the curtain.
That's right.
Oh my
And
gosh, I
and
can't
it
wait for that.
does make me like there are a couple of podcasts that are just like video podcasts now, and I don't know how they do it and keep their fingers out of their noses and keep from picking at their teeth and making obnoxious faces. I mean, I don't know. Put I mean, they must put a bunch of makeup on. I can't even. I don't even know if
Well, that's the
I,
parts they edit out,
yeah,
or it
right.
could be that their viewers are into that. Nose picking,
Yeah,
teeth
that's
picking.
right.
You never know. There's something for everyone.
That's true. Anyway, so that's my low. And then
Okay.
my high, look, I started with a low. And then my high is we recently installed some cameras and
Yes.
you know, um we're finally catching up with all the neighbors who've had security cameras and security this and security that. We put up the cameras, but the thing that I am totally totally geeking out on is watching what the cat's doing on the porch, by the garage, on the back deck. And every time there's movement, you get like there's movement on the camera
Yeah,
and then
little alert.
yeah, and there's the cat standing by the tree, and now the cat's standing by the porch, and now the cat's climbing down the steps and going around the side that I mean, it is so much fun.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
You need to put all of that together and have a channel.
I
What
know
is it?
cat
Cat?
cam. We should
Yeah,
get
cat
like a
cam.
GoPro and attach it to the cat's head. That would be hilarious. Anyway, it is so entertaining.
Yeah, I bet.
And you get an alert every time like my phone has never been this busy. It's all bing 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 bing, because it's like, oh, cat on the move. So much
Oh
fun.
my God. Yeah, I could see how entertaining that would be though, to just sit there and watch what's going on
Yeah.
outside.
It's
Yeah.
2023. Why didn't we put this cat cam up before? I mean, I know what I'm going to be doing on Friday nights. I'm going to be like, I'm going to take my coffee drink or my ice cream into the bedroom. I'm going to get under the covers and I'm going to watch the cat cam. I mean, it's so much fun.
Oh my gosh. That is
Anywho,
okay.
on that
Well,
note, let's roll
yeah.
into our shout outs.
Okay.
Um, I have a shout out for Francoise, a Harold and Maude review, which for those of you who didn't listen to previous podcasts, it was during our top 5 movie episode that one of Cheryl's top 5 movies was Harold and Maude, and Francoise went to the library and got the movie and watched it. So next week, when we do our housekeeping podcast, which is going through our previous podcasts and just flushing out updates, etc., we're going to read her review on that podcast. So stay tuned for that.
Oh my God, everyone. I don't even know. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But I think it's 2 weeks from now, right? We are
Oh,
we
yeah,
are
whenever.
you're gonna have to wait, people. I know they're just they're gonna wait with bated breath, but we are gonna have to, we gotta throw murder in there and then we go back.
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
but Joy, I cannot wait. I cannot
Yeah.
wait to hear it. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
and then she's
excited.
gonna tell us about the live show too. Did she tell us?
Oh,
She
I don't know. I might ask and see if she went. She might not have gone. She might have just sent me that
oh
they
oh
were
oh oh oh.
performing
I
it.
thought
I
she
don't know
was
if she
going.
actually went to it.
Oh, I'm sure she would have told you if she did.
Based on her movie review, I don't know if she wanted to go to it. Sneak peek.
Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. Well, you gave me. I'm gonna steel myself for a scathing review. It sounds like it's
Yeah.
okay. I can take it. I can take it. It's not going to change my love of that movie.
It's not going to make the movie fall off the top 5 list.
Nope. I will
Well,
defend it to the end. Okay.
yeah. So today we are taking another turn away from murder, and Cheryl and I are going to play one of my favorite games.
And mine
And
too.
that game is called Would You Rather? And we have prepared 5 Would You Rather questions. And we're going to start with Cheryl asking me a question, then I'm going to ask her a question, kind of like we did with the top 5 movies. We're going to take turns. And you'll get to hear our fun questions and our fun answers. And by the way, just for those of you listening, we don't know what each other's questions are.
Yeah,
So you're getting our answers fresh and on the fly.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Well, I have one that's kind of just a low hanging fruit question because it's like, of course, I'm going to ask you this. Can I start with this one?
Yeah.
So I might have 6 because I don't really consider this one because, like I said, it's kind of low hanging fruit. People are going to be like, yeah, I would ask that too. All right, here it is. Hold on. Where's my notes? Um, talking about technology. All of a sudden, I don't know how to use my phone. Whoa. Okay, Joy. If you had to, okay, the world was going to, that we're in a crazy pandemic that require, like, there's a shortage of handbags and shoes. And you are going to be, you're going to be doing a service to the world by getting rid of either all your shoes or all your handbags. So would you rather get rid of all your shoes or all your handbags?
Oh my God. I would rather get rid of all my purses.
Okay. You stick with the shoes, the ones you can't walk in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Because I couldn't live without shoes.
Please, can you please tell everyone what you told me? Please share with the listeners your shoe choices and how comfortable they are.
Oh my God. No, no. We are going to save that for another podcast on shoes.
Okay, stay tuned. I'm telling you guys, you are going to want to listen to the Joy's escapades with her Escalate. No, what's that shoe called? Espadrilles.
That's the
Espadrilles?
drills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her
And
platform.
also maybe if this podcast's a big hit and people really like enjoy the shoe segments, I'll start an
Oh,
OnlyFans where I put shoes on and take shoes off.
okay.
It'll be like pay-per-view.
Oh my God. Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, we'll save that for another day, but I'm telling you guys, you're going to want to hear this. It's very entertaining. Okay. All right. Well, that was just like a throwaway. Do you want me to start with my real first one or do you want to go?
Yes. No, you go ahead. You start.
Okay. Would you rather have more money or more time?
I would rather have more time.
And why?
Um, because because I would get to spend it with my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I yeah. I mean, for those of you who know me, which I imagine that's like 90% of our listeners. Um, my mom passed away last July, and no matter how much time there is, there's never enough time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think was the biggest takeaway from the whole experience of losing a parent, you know. Um, and so I think about, like money comes and goes. Yeah, sure, money's great. It's great to be able to afford things. It's good to be able to pay the bills. But if you think about it, I mean, money is just money. And sometimes I get annoyed because I feel like every time I turn around, there's always another bill on the counter. But other times I just think, ugh, it's just money. You know, you're going to go to work, you're going to get money. Okay, then you're going to die. But the money's not going to make you happy. Yeah, you talk to people who have lots and lots of money, it doesn't make them happier people. If anything, I find that sometimes they're so busy focused on like how to save the money, how not to end up spending all the money, how to sock the money away, how to make their money turn into more money, that it's almost like a burden. Just like I remember when we had no money, it was also just a constant of we never had money, you know? So it was like that's always going to be a thing. The I have no money or I have too much money or I have money. But like you never have like sometimes when I go to sleep at night I think "What- oh, I just didn't have enough time. Like last night we sat down and played a card game with one of our kids and it was so much fun and we laughed and laughed and laughed and we had a good time. And when I went to bed I just remember thinking like if we'd started playing earlier, we could have played 2 games. Or maybe we could have played another game after, but we were all tired, you know? So I just think, oh, I'll never have enough time to like find out more about these amazing people,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But that's a
Yeah.
good question. That's a really good question.
Do you want to know my answer? Does anybody
No,
want to know my answer?
no. Yeah, of course
Okay.
I do. Of course I do.
Well, I, at this age and stage, I'm going to say I'd rather have more money. I think that it's what I told you, on the
Especially to
other,
pay for that menisci.
exactly. No, I told you on the other episode that, yeah, I don't want to live till 100. That's just like, no. Like I said, you barely walk, not even 60. Um, so yeah, I think it's different when you have kids, for sure. Uh, yeah, my answer would probably be time if I had kids.
That's
And I
interesting.
am not disparaging or, you know, making an argument against anything you just said. But the other day you said the old cliche of age is just a number. Well, only
Yeah,
young
you
people.
told me to shut up.
I did. I'm so sorry, but that was
And
my natural reaction.
but it totally made my husband crack up when I was editing. He's all, "That's funny."
Well, it's just, young. It's like, yeah, young people say that, and people who say they don't need money, they have money. I just, at this stage, like, I'm, and it's my own damn fault for whatever path I had leading up to this. But I'm doing this job that's just like, are you kidding? I should be been doing this in my 20s, but I'm doing it so that I can pay for my County and Jets medical bills, because they're older now and they have renal failure. And
Mhm.
when you get older, you just need a lot more medication. We know that, and stuff. So yeah, at this point, more money would be really nice, because more money would mean, oh, listen to this one, because more money would give me more time with them.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So anywho, yeah, but I
Yeah,
get it. If you Go ahead.
that's no, it's a good answer. It's very interesting. One of the things I like about these kinds of questions is, they all have really good when people answer these questions, they're all very thought-provoking reasons and everybody comes at it from a different angle. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I like. It's funny when we were younger, we played this game, we just laugh and laugh and laugh and it'd be so funny and hilarious. But now I think
Now,
about it and it's like I love hearing like how people come to like their answers and what they bring, with them.
mm-hmm.
Because again, a lot of times there's not it's just an example that there's no one answer for any question.
And it really depends where you are in your life. So if I was dying right now, I'd probably say I want more time.
Yeah.
So, it's just
Yeah, of course.
where I'm at right now is like more money would really help because I could pay for my babies and spend time with them as well. But anyway, okay. All right. Are you ready to
All
move on
right.
to the next one?
Yeah, I'm gonna read my first question and you're
Oh,
gonna
oh my gosh. No, it's all about me. Oh, I thought you asked me that question.
no, no, no,
Okay, go.
no. I'm gonna ask my first question,
I
which
know.
is very interesting because of the question that you just asked, and it is, would you rather know how you will die or when you will die?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Holy moly, that's a good one.
Right?
I take the fifth on this one. Um, uh, how? You know, I've thought about this because I'm into besides murder, I like the paranormal, um, and so I like you know psychics and things like that. I think some of them are actually authentic and some are just bullshitters. But so that's come up before where it's like, do you want to know? I do. Okay, I do not know. I do not want to know when I'm going to die. Gosh, what if I'm going to die by being hit by a car? I will never be able to step out of the house again.
You could buy a parachute and a helmet and one of those
Oh
like
yeah,
outfits
that.
like people like football players wear where there's pads all over your body. And then you could also have like a rape whistle, some mace, and
Oh,
like all the
that.
weaponry, like
That sounds like.
nunchucks and like a knife in your belt. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
you'd be prepared for everything, a stun gun.
Well,
And
I'll
also
know.
like one of
I'll
those water things that you suck on, and you'd have also a jetpack that you'd also
That
look like
sounds
a
like
complete freak.
that sounds like a really fun way to live. But no, because you're saying I'm gonna know how I'm gonna die, right? So
Well, it's kind
so
of a trick question if you think about it, because don't want to know when I'm going to die. But if you like, I mean, most people die of heart failure. So I guess you could say like, uh, I guess you could say, well, I'll probably die of heart failure. I mean, if you think about it, because what's
I
the
know.
what's the
No,
thing that happens when you die? Your heart stops
yeah,
beating.
yeah,
Oh, there you go.
and that's fine. But what if it's something more tragic? Ooh, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, but the
okay,
question just says, would you rather know how you'll die or when you'll die?
okay. Well,
So if you
uh, I'm gonna have to say how because
okay.
when is.
It's too specific.
Yeah, it's like if it's far away, great. But what if it's like, yeah, it's like that movie Countdown. Did you ever see that where the kids like get this app where it's going to tell you how much time you have left to live?
No,
Um,
I never watch stuff like that.
I know, I don't know why I
That
asked that.
stuff just
It was a
makes me stay
rhetorical question.
awake at night.
Besides, well, you're already watching your cat video, so you can
That's right.
just. But yeah. So no, I'm gonna have to say I would rather know how I'm going to die.
Yeah, of old
And
age.
yeah, I don't think I'm. Well,
Because I'm all
when you say old age, that could be your heart, right? I mean, somebody's
right. Or it
going
could
to have
just
to give
be
up.
old age. You're going to be
Well,
143, and be tottering around with no teeth.
can you imagine? And everybody's gone. Kevin and I have talked about that, and it's like most people around you are not going to be there at 143. So you've lost everyone. You're no, uh-uh. But so
Yeah.
your answer is you'd rather know how? Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Oh, okay. Let's keep going. All right. This is just a fun frivolous one. Would you rather be a professional level singer, actor, musician, or artist, and why?
Professional actor, singer. What was the third one?
Musician
Musician
or artist?
or artist? Oh, I know. I would rather be a professional singer.
I hear
So
you. Listen,
you knew I was going to say that.
everyone.
I
I want to tell
I
you.
love, 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 love to sing.
Okay,
Love.
I have to share this story with everyone. Joy, back in the day of answering machine. Actually, it doesn't even have to be an answering machine. It could be on the iPhone. I used to hit play and it would be Joy singing on my answering machine. She wouldn't
Yeah,
say a word, she
I
would just sing.
yeah, I love singing. I love karaoke. Um I sing in the car. I sing at my work to the little girl that I nanny.
Oh,
I
that's
oh,
sweet.
it's so cute because I sing her all these songs that like nobody my age would know. Like, do you remember ever hearing that song, How Much Is the Doggy in the Window? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, this is like a song from probably like 1940s. And also, so I sing her that, and then we sing How Much Is the Kitty in the Window, and How Much Is the Slothy in the Window, and How Much Is the Cupcake in the Window. Like we change and then there's that. Did you ever hear that stuttering song? It was like from the 1930s. It goes, Katie, beautiful Katie. Well, we changed the
No.
name. So I sang na 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 Nina, beautiful Nina. And then we
Oh.
change it to mama 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 and we change it to da 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 daddy. And then she says names. She'll say Nani, Tom Tom,
Oh.
Emo. And she'll say like 20 people's names. And every time she picks a new name, we sing the song from start to finish with a new name.
She
I
doesn't
love
stutter when she
singing.
says it?
Well, she doesn't sing that one yet, but she sings all the other songs. Like she sings how much is and now, she like I said, she shushes me and she'll be
Oh.
like, "No. No, emo sing. Nina sing." And then she'll start singing. And it's really sweet. And
Oh.
I love that because I like to sing and I love music that like she loves to sing and hopefully someday, if she has children of her own, she'll teach them to sing. So I just love music. And
You,
even
you,
though I'm not a good singer and even though I'm not going to like win any awards for that, I just think it would be so much fun to sing for a living just because it's so enjoyable.
yeah, and I think there's more longevity than some of the other well, no, that's not true. You can act. Yeah, you can no, you can do all the
Yeah,
others. But
that's
I know you
true.
love to sing. 'Cause it's also that joy of just to let everybody know because you've said emo a few times. You want to let people know what that
Oh
means.
yeah,
Just
emo means auntie in Korean, but it's specific in its mother's sister.
oh,
I use it loosely because obviously I'm not the mom's
right,
sister, but
right.
because I'm the mom's friend, then we say emo. If it's a father's sister, then the auntie is como. So that's
Oh,
how you would know if you heard somebody refer to their auntie as emo or como, you would know if it was the father's sister or the mother's sister.
mothers. Oh, interesting. Okay, I never knew that, so I'm glad I asked.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, very cool. Well, and Joy loves an audience. She just loves an audience. So I don't. Well, see, so you can't do the artist because unless someone's watching her paint or sculpt, that's not going to be enough for
Right.
her. So,
Also, I am like I can draw stick people at best.
well,
So
this is your chance. You're
I
wishing it
can't
into
imagine
being.
anything being more dull than standing around drawing pictures or painting. I just ugh. Also, like it seems like a very solitary kind of activity, you know?
Yeah, and you like an audience. Can I please share?
Yeah.
I want to share with the people because I don't think I said it on that. Anyway, Joy, I said mentioned before we used to work together. She was the manager, I was the supervisor, and I kind of did I say anyway. So I was kind of in the background, keeping everything, organized and filed. And Joy was the front man. She was the front man, and she loved it. We had meetings. I don't know if it was weekly company meetings or monthly. I can't remember, but they give out, like swag and all this stuff. And every manager had to stand in front of everyone and give an update of how their department was doing or whatever. And Joy could not wait for that day. Whoa. I mean, she loved it. I remember you telling me you loved it. You could not wait to get out in front of this room of people and speak. It was so awesome though. I love that about you. So I could see why it would be something performing. Yeah, the
That's
artist
so
was.
funny.
I don't know why. Even know why I put that
I
on the list.
I think I'm less attention seeking now that I've gotten older, but it is still I do enjoy, what I do enjoy is, and that's why I always really enjoyed teaching, was I like being in front of a group of people and like, being the main attraction.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
fun.
know if I would equate. I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd call it attention seeking. I think that you do. Would you? I mean, like being in front of people and having the
Mm.
floor. I don't. I don't know if
Well, I
it's very.
definitely, when I was younger, I really sought that validation because, like,
Mhm.
people would laugh or they'd be like, "Oh, you're crazy," or "You're so dumb," or people would roll their eyes or whatever. But it was very validating to have all those people kind of focusing on you and my antics. But now that I'm older, like, it's nicer to have people say like, "Oh, I like the way you explained that. Now I understand why,
Yeah.
subject verb object instead of verb subject object or something like that, because they're actually learning something. So I appreciate being able to like teach people something as opposed to just standing there and having people
Making them
stare at
laugh.
me.
Okay, wait a
Yeah.
minute. No, because just a week ago you were saying that Gabe was saying, you're talking about your volleyball moms and how you're not going to see them every week. And he
That's
said, "Uh-oh,
true.
you're going to have to find another audience." So,
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's still when when I've got performance joy, then yeah, I definitely am. That's more attention seeking and super exhilarating. But,
yeah.
at home, like, nobody at home is following me around waiting for me to crack a joke.
You're not
So,
getting it at home, especially from
that's right.
Maria. Maria's like,
That's
she's like,
right.
you're like a dog. She's trying to shake off her leg.
I know, right? Oh my God.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna throw in. I think I want to be a professional level actor because that's kind of what I wanted to do. So I would say musician, but I have arthritis in my hands and I can't even imagine if unless I
Yeah.
was playing something with my feet. But
But
yeah.
what's funny is, and I just want to throw this out there. So I had arthritis in one of my hands for sure, and I had this trigger finger problem, which still
Hmm,
a little bit affects me when it's like very cold. But since I started playing violin on a regular basis, like 3 years ago or whatever, when I picked it back up, I no longer have sore and achy hands. Like, it's like keeping my hands limber, and all the practice that I do has kept made my fingers more agile.
interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Because I'm using them constantly. I
But
mean, constantly.
I would think overuse would make. I don't know. I've got these humongous. They look like boulders on my fingers in certain the knuckles. They're
Huh.
so big. I don't think playing the violin would help that go down. but that's cool. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Who's
So
next? You're
let's see.
next.
My number two question is: would you rather do something you love and just get by, or do something you hate and make billions of dollars?
Oh Lord. Because I just said I'd rather have more time than I mean more money than time.
Uh-huh.
Mm, no, something I love. Because
Really?
I've done a lot of things. I listen,
You're
my
just squeaking by. You're just squeaking by, meaning you can
joy,
barely pay the bills.
joy. Except for the time that I was dancing, I have done things I hate and barely squeaked by. So it's like if I can at least love what I was doing while squeaking by, I'll take that. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I've been so miserable in some jobs.
Yeah.
And
Remember the
then
one where they asked you to clean the bathrooms and you
oh
were out of there in
Lord,
like 2 days? You're
yep,
all next.
yep.
That
I
was that was when you were like, remember, you did like 3 or 4 jobs in like two
mm-hmm,
weeks time
yep.
because you
I
were
was
like,
like
nope,
next.
nope, nope, nope. It was
Yeah. And
hilarious.
you know what's funny is now that I'm older, like I'll hang in more because I just don't
Right.
have the energy to keep moving around and go through the training. But yes, they uh they told me so this one job was for a spice company with these two Frenchmen who their business was booming. So they were hiring people and we had this small office And I think I actually lasted 5 days. So I started on Monday, and then on Friday, the girl that was training me says, we take turns cleaning the bathroom, and I wanted to vomit right there. And then she goes, but today we're so busy that we're not going to clean it. And then I wanted to vomit even more because one asking me to clean a toilet. I can't. I don't even want to clean
of your coworkers. After all of your coworkers are shit in the toilet,
oh my,
you got a head in there with your rubber gloves and your bristle brush,
nauseous.
and you've got your work clothes on. You got to spray all that dirty water. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have a hard enough time doing it here at home, and half of the people in this house came out of my vagina. I am not.
Okay, so to clean, I can't even say the words. It's so gross. But then to hear, okay, so no one's going to clean it this week because we're too busy. That was gross too. I was like, because most of the buildings I've worked in, it's huge, and they have a cleaning crew. So I'm like, so now it's either a choice of I clean the bathroom or it doesn't get cleaned, neither of which I'm going to stick around for. So
remember at Teleport, there was the little bathroom that was right out the door from our office that only had like the 2-staller. And sometimes I'd literally take the elevator down to the 4th floor so that I could use a different bathroom, just because I was like, I could not go into that bathroom after half of the people in our department had been in there. I was like, ew. I would like risk wetting myself and go down the elevator to the large bathroom, because I was like, at least it's impersonal. And there's been like, there's 10 stalls as opposed to the 2-staller where I could smell what everybody's had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was
like, God, stop. No. Everyone close to me knows that my anxiety dream, and it's been since I was young, is having to go to the bathroom really bad, and I'm in a public place and I can't find the bath. Then I finally find the restroom, and I go in there, Joy, and every stall door, I'm gonna throw up. I can watch people's heads getting sliced off, but I can't open the door. So in my dream, I open the door, and the toilet is just, there's poop all over the seats and all over the floor, and the water has risen, and it's just shit just overflowing onto the ground. Oh my God. And then I go to the next stall, and it's just as bad, and I keep going, and it's horrible, because in my dream I feel like I really have to go. And that's my anxiety dream. So when someone's going to ask me to clean a bunch of stranger, I called on Monday and I said to the HR, I was like, I'm not coming back. At least I gave them the courtesy of calling. I could have just not shown up, but I was like, listen, I'm not coming back. They asked me to clean the toilets, and I draw the line.
I have to tell you that it's really, I'm just going to condense it so it's not too gross. But we rented a home for 10 months when we moved here, because we needed to go through the home buying process, and we moved pretty quickly, and we didn't know, like whether or not we were going to be able to afford to buy a house and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So anyway, we moved here and we rented a place for 10 months. And when you live in the country, you have a septic instead of like a sewer system that's connected to city. Well, a septic is basically a tank, and when the tank is full, a truck comes and pumps it out, and your yard smells like poo, and then they put it in the truck, and then they cart it to whatever and put it in another tank. But anyway,
imagine that job. Imagine that.
Yeah. No, those guys make bank. This guy who rented the house to us had not had the septic pumped out in probably 10 years. And so guess what? Yeah. My in-laws came to visit, and that was the weekend that the septic backed up into the shower and the bathroom. And let me tell you, nothing makes you completely think that, like, I mean, talk about Armageddon, is nothing like going in the bathroom and going, oh my God, why? What is happening right now? And everything is brown and the room is filling up. And you're like running out of the house like, no. And then,
that's going to be my new anxiety dream.
Yeah, it was a real experience, let me tell you. Because then after they come, first of all, you can't use the facilities until they come and pump it out. And then when they pump it out, you now have to disinfect everything
Oh
because
no, I know. Oh gosh.
God
Oh god.
knows who
Oh,
was renting the house before you started renting it, and
I
now
have to
you got
move.
all their dookie in the shower and in
Oh
the
no! Stop!
bathroom.
Stop! 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 I don't know what it is, Joy. I just can't. I just.
guys,
Oh my!
she guys,
Seriously,
guys, she might be sick again.
my
Okay,
stomach is
now
turning for real.
okay, quickly go on to your next question.
Well, you have to answer your own.
Oh, I would rather do something I love and just get by.
Yeah, I think.
Which
Well, I don't know.
explains to you why we're podcasting. Because I checked the counter and we are up to 66 cents. Okay?
Yeah.
So this podcast is earning us 66 cents
Yeah.
and counting. By this time next week, it could be 76 cents. So obviously, I'm doing what I love.
Yes, we want. I do want everybody to know how much we enjoy doing this. We
Yes.
really, really love doing this. So
Right.
yeah, so we are doing something we love, and we are barely squeaking by.
Right.
Okay, all right, okay. This is a question that I've always had a hard time answering myself. And when I ask you this question, I want you to think more in the workplace. Okay.
Okay.
Would you rather be respected or liked?
Oh, that's a really good question.
It's so hard.
I I mean, I can tell you now versus like when I was younger. When I was younger, I really wanted people to like me. I found it very disconcerting. There were there were when I was in my mid 20s, I went parted ways with a friend that I had considered to be a very, very close friend. And then when I was in my early 30s or mid 30s, same thing with another friend. Being liked was so important because I remember really struggling with those relationships and feeling like, what had I done? And putting a lot of blame on myself that I was no longer likable. And that's why these people didn't want to be friends with
Mm,
me.
mm,
But now that I am older, I would say I would want to be respected because um, when you respect somebody, you have admiration for more than just who they are. You know, you respect their values, you respect the job they do, you respect their work ethic, you respect maybe who they are as a person. So it kind of like it supersedes liking someone because you can like somebody but not know anything about any of those other things that I mentioned.
mhm,
Whereas if you have respect for someone, I feel like it's at a deeper level. So you've identified qualities and traits about that person that that elevates them in your, you know, view. Whereas if you
mhm.
just like somebody, it's like, yeah, I like her. She's fun or she's good or she's, you know, hilarious or, you know, but then maybe you don't have respect for them or maybe you don't know enough about them to respect them. When you respect somebody, I think you have a deeper knowledge of who they are, what their belief systems are, and all of the things, you know, that make them a person, you know,
Mhm.
their work ethic, their, you know, their personality traits, who they are as a parent or who they are as a friend, who they are as a spouse, you know, all those other things. And I don't know. And
Yeah,
maybe maybe also, you know, when you're younger, you don't invest as much time. I don't know. Maybe you don't invest as much time and energy finding out about other people because you're also still learning about yourself.
yeah, yeah. I
So,
think when you're younger, you probably would be quick to answer that you'd rather be liked, right? When you're younger,
mhm.
but like, because a lot of the workplaces that the places I've worked, there were people that were respected and that I respected because of their knowledge, or how they conducted themselves, but they weren't necessarily likable. Um,
Right.
um, and so when I posed that question to myself, I picture those people, and it's really hard for me. It's really hard for me to answer that question, so I'm not. But I do want to tell everyone, and I am not this. I'm being completely serious. You were both respected and liked when we worked together. You had that rare quality that everybody respected and liked you. It's like I was telling you, when you would have to reprimand someone or kind of like go over their performance, or their performance really wasn't cutting it, or you even had to write someone up. I remember when you started, Joy, the first thing you had to do was fire someone. That was your first task. Do you remember that?
Who was
I
it?
remember you had to fire someone because she was just not cutting it. But
Who was it?
I can't remember her name. But
Oh, I think I remember.
it was one of the first things you had to do. You had to
Yeah.
clean house, and she had to go. She was
That was
really bad,
hard.
but you had to do that. But after that, like, I've said this before, but when you had to reprimand or write people up, they came out of there smiling because they loved you so much. So you had that rare ability to be both respected and liked, which is very hard. Yeah, because the workplaces, like I said, people, especially women, um, don't hate me for this, but a lot of women in high positions are real bitches. But they're respected. They're respected, because they get there because they don't care if you like them. They get to that position.
I think a lot of times, and I mean, I think this applies to men and women. I think a lot of times as you're climbing that ladder, sometimes you have to step on people to get up the ladder.
Mhm.
And I don't think that you can. I think you can step around people. You don't have to step on people.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically having instances where, I mean, I would like to think that we've changed maybe in the process. Maybe we don't have to step on people anymore to climb up, but who knows? I mean, it's been a long time since I was in a corporate environment. So, but I will say, like, when you're a nanny, you don't have to step on anybody.
I hope you're not stepping on anybody.
It's so pleasant. It's so like,
I know.
it's just such a nice feeling to not have to, all you have to do is sing. That's all you have to do.
Oh, well, you were, like I said, you were the best.
Aw. Do you not want to answer that one for yourself?
It's so hard. It's really hard because I don't know. As we're talking, I know this is not a good answer because I know, I don't know. Maybe it's because I know I am a good employee, but I don't know. I think I want to say respected because I'd rather work for someone that I respected more than I liked. Because I would feel like they knew what they were doing. I could go to them and they would be, solid resource. But I gotta say, I think I'd rather be liked. I don't know. I haven't gotten over my schoolgirl days. Yeah, I don't know. That's good. This question.
But I also think that, like, at this stage in your life, you're also not looking to run a company and have a position of being in charge. And I think when you're a cog in a machine, I think you're more just like interested in doing what your job entails and then being done with it, as opposed to like leading a group or leading by example, or creating systems and like procedures where other people have to look to you for leadership.
Yes.
So because you tend to not do that anymore, I think that you're just fine with just staying in your in your lane. Yeah, in your zone.
And having as much fun as possible. Yeah, that's why I was so bummed when one of my, elder peeps, they quit. She up and quit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I was so bummed, because I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. I have no desire to climb any kind of ladder, especially because my knees are bad. But I'm bummed. Okay, let's go on to our next question.
All right. So, my number 3 question is, would you rather be more attractive than your partner or have them be more attractive than you?
Oh God.
It's such a like it seems almost like a very kind of like materialistic kind of question, but if you think about it, there is a psychology to like, being with somebody who's very, very attractive, or like you being the person who's very attractive and having your partner not be as attractive. And yeah. So this is a really good question for you.
It is, and that is so funny and timely because I was just watching a Dateline episode, and the wife, her husband was killed, and um, so she's being interviewed, and she says she was married before, and the guy was very good looking and very outgoing and very charming, and then he cheated on her. So she had her guard up after that, and as far as meeting new men, because she was talking about how she met her second husband. And she said at that point she wanted someone that was old, fat. She goes old, fat, and boring because she didn't want to lose it, and I just started cracking up because I'm like, that's me. Kevin has found old, fat, and boring.
Oh God, Cheryl.
No, but I thought that was hilarious and sad because she had someone that she loved and he betrayed her, and then she was like, I'm going for the complete opposite. Um
Right.
uh, well, I can't oy, oy. Would I rather be say that again?
Would you rather be more attractive than your partner or have them be more attractive than you?
Okay. Well, I don't even know if I have to make a choice in this because I think my husband is more attractive than me. Uh, I told you that story about when we were at a restaurant and there was a couple sitting next to us with their little baby, and the guy was gorgeous. I mean, wow. And the wife was, you know, she was average. And I was like, wow. And then for the next like 3 weeks, I kept telling Kevin when we went anywhere, I was like, it was Benihana. So I'd say, you're the Benihana guy. I'm the Benihana wife. And people are looking at us like, wow, how did that happen? I don't know. Maybe when I was younger. Oh, Joy, I can't answer this question.
Okay. Well, let me just read this to you because I read this morning. Somebody tweeted this out. I love Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time, but somebody tweeted this out and they said this is what women are having to deal with like online dating profiles. This guy, 31, posts a picture of himself and he looks like literally an Amish farmer. And he says, looking for my lovely ever after must, in all caps, be blonde or brunette, be fit and toned, go to the gym at least 4 times weekly, be no more than 5'11" and no less than 5'4" in height,
Oh
be
my gosh.
available at all times, give good head, be able to cook and clean,
Oh,
devote as much of your time to me as possible, have a
whoa.
steady income of more than $70,000 per annual, have an apartment that I can crash at occasionally, and if you fit this criteria to swipe right, I will not settle for anything less. Also, not interested in BBWs and single moms. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, seriously, I was like,
BBW.
big boned
Oh,
women, like large plus size women. I was just
oh my
like,
God. Oh,
ay, ay,
wow.
ay,
And like,
ay,
what do
ay.
you bring to the table?
Well,
Oh
I
my
told
God.
you he looked like an Amish farmer. So I'm like, why don't you just put on there, I want someone more attractive than me?
I want
Because,
someone completely opposite from
yeah,
me.
right? Like, I look like me, Amish farmer, you, supermodel from a runway. I mean, it was just like so ridiculous. I mean, here's the thing that I have discovered, and I'll just say this like without any like pointing anything out. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And that is like the honest to God truth. I um
Yes.
I
Yes, this is true.
cannot tell you that there are days, like, for example, one of the things I started this weekend literally was no shower Sunday. And what no shower Sunday means is exactly that. There'll be no showers and no hair washings on Sundays because I am now eliminating that day from the general maintenance and upkeep of my hair and showering situation. And
Is
that's
this
fine because
is this
I'm
for
not,
everyone in the house or just you?
no, just for me because I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
And now my neighbors texted me and said, "Do you guys want to come over? It's Easter, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Great. It's no shower Sunday." But I have had people stop me and say, like, "You look so nice." One day, I literally felt like I had crawled out from under a rock, and I had a lady stop me and go, "You always look so cute and well put together. Like, what is your
Aw.
secret?" And I was like, "Good, holy Jesus. Like, what in the world is going on?" Because my hair was crusty and I was crusty and my clothes had food splattered down the front and I looked like I had been lounging around in the grass for the morning. And then she's like, "You look so," and I was like, "Oh my God, literally, there is no rhyme or reason to what one person finds attractive versus what another person finds attractive." So that having been said, there are days where I leave the house and I'm like, I am a hot mess. And there are other days where I'm like, I look great. And then somebody will take a picture and I'll be like, whoa, what was going on there? So you just never know. And it's like, I mean, what I may perceive as being a great outfit, yesterday I had on a great outfit and I said to Gabe, "Does this look like pajamas?" And he goes, "Yep." He didn't even skip a beat. I thought I had on like attractive, homey mom, like loungy outfit, and he thought I looked like I had on pajamas.
Well, loungy and
So,
pajamas go together.
right. But I had to come in the bedroom and change in the closet and change my clothes before I left
Aw.
the house because I didn't want everyone at the store to think I had on pajamas too.
Which pajamas
So
can be cute. So it's not
I
necessarily a
find
bad thing.
I find that for women, a lot of times, like showering, putting on some makeup, doing our hair, and putting on a cute outfit equals whether or not we feel attractive.
Yeah,
And
this is
for
true.
men, it's different because a lot of times they don't have to stop and put on makeup and do their hair and flat iron this and flat iron that and buff out this and buff out that. And so and a lot of times if a man, maybe let's say he didn't like get his hair cut for a couple of months. Maybe that makes him feel less attractive. I don't know because
Yeah,
I'm not a man.
yeah.
But I will say that there's a lot less work that goes into like my husband leaving the house than me leaving the house if we're going out to dinner, say together with a group of friends or something. So, I mean, I would never roll out of the house on no shower Sunday to go be social with other people. So I don't know.
I know. Let me tell you, there are times where we have to go somewhere, and the getting ready part is just so tedious sometimes. Yeah, I get it. Oh, well, we'll have to stay tuned, everyone. And next week, Joy will tell us if she went to her friend's house or if
That's
she
right.
stayed home with her pajamas.
Also,
Um,
I just want to throw in really quickly because I know we're like beating this horse to death, but I will throw in really quickly.
mm,
I have always worried more about looking older than my spouse than being concerned with whether or not I was more or less attractive. And
mm.
that's because I'm older. And I'm
Yeah.
not like 6 months older. 6 months is bullshit. It doesn't count.
Mhm,
I'm 7 years older. And I
mhm.
always worried about that. Like
Aw,
people saying, "Why is that old man? Why is that old lady married to that young man?" And I will say that that was always something that I worried about more. Again,
uh,
I don't care who's more attractive
mhm,
because everybody, like some people might think he is, some people might think I don't care. He's attracted to me, I'm attracted to him.
mhm.
End of story. But I always worried about the age thing being something that somebody would say. And I worried about it. I used to worry about it a lot. Um but after we had kids, because you're tired and you're not getting a lot of sleep and all that stuff. But now I'm like, at a certain point, like you hit a certain age, everybody looks old, right?
Yeah. Well, for I think when Gabe hit a certain age, then it narrows the gap. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but I
him.
will still say that nobody, like hardly anybody looks twice at a woman over a certain age, but women of all ages look at men over a certain age. And that is a societal norm that I think is crap. Only weirdos and like people who are like on OnlyFans looking for like grandpas or whatever think that like old ladies are hot, or there's like a weird like kink for that. But
Well,
everybody looks at men over a certain age and goes, "Ooh, George Clooney, like a fine wine. Ooh, Kevin Costner, like a fine." I'm like, nobody goes, "Ooh, Dame Judi Dench." No one. I'm just saying,
well,
except
we're
for
gonna.
maybe her husband or her, lover does that. But, I'll also guarantee you that unless, she's into that, she's probably also not like dating a 50-year-old who's like, hubba hubba, me like some 80. So
Well, I will. No, we'll have to do a show just on this on aging because uh, Kevin and his friends have talked about how they felt like they disappeared after they turned 40. So it's not just
really
women. Yeah. So we're gonna have to save
interesting.
that. But if I have to answer this, if I have, I'm gonna say probably because I'm gonna pretend you're asking a younger Cheryl. So I'm gonna have to say I would rather be more attractive because I was really insecure before. Now I've accepted all that comes with being 58. um, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to. So, what's your answer?
Um, I really don't care.
No, you have to answer. You made me answer.
I would probably I would probably want my partner to be more attractive than me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
but I get to be funnier.
okay. All right. Well, that's it. Yeah, you will be funnier. That goes without saying. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next one. Hold on 1 second. Stand by, please. Okay. You're gonna laugh at this, but it's just me watching I Survived. I love that show. Um, so would you rather, Joy, would you rather be shipwrecked or lost in the woods?
um, I would rather be shipwrecked, and here's why. One, I'm on an island if I'm
Oh no,
shipwrecked.
no, no. I completely messed that up.
Oh.
Lost at sea or lost in the woods?
Oh, 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 no, no, lost in the woods. And here's the reason why. It's very, very, very simple. I have a I have an a huge fear of drowning. Like
Oh
it's
my gosh,
almost
I'm
an
sorry.
irrational. It's okay. It's an irrational fear because
No,
but
it's not.
the idea of being surrounded by water and I don't know where I am. That's an awful. I'm even more fearful of water that has no like that's like depthless, you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh, maybe
yeah,
that was
so
a bad question.
no,
I am
it's a
so
good
sorry.
question. But if you said if we went back to the original one that I thought was for shipwrecked, I would rather be on an island shipwrecked than be in the woods and lost because on an island there's no bears.
True.
And I cannot like in the woods there's bears and like at nighttime in
Other
the
things.
woods, how are you going to get away from stuff? You have to climb trees. And I got to tell you, the last time I tried to climb a tree, I think I almost broke or ripped something like in my body.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm no longer at an age where I can scamper up stuff easily. And so, on an island, you're shipwrecked on an island, there's nothing there. You got some coconuts, you might have some crabs, and at least you're sitting on the sand and you're by yourself. Whereas
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Did you
I
see
don't want to be in the
Castaway?
woods.
Have you
Yeah.
seen the movie Castaway? Remember when he gets
I love that movie.
I do too. And
As
he gets
much as I
back.
can't stand Tom Hanks,
Okay.
I love that movie.
Well, that was before maybe when you still liked him a little bit.
Yeah, when he wasn't in every movie.
Remember when he gets back and they have like a, in his honor, this gathering, and there's all that seafood on the table and he's looking
Yeah.
at it like that's what I ate for the last 4
Oh
years.
God.
So funny. But yes, I agree with it's scary to me to have just water all around where you cannot see land, like those people that
Yeah.
got behind on the diving thing, the couple that got left behind.
Yeah. Open water.
Oh my God. That, and then but also I've looked into like people getting lost hiking, and it's terrifying.
Oh
And then
yeah.
their bones are found like years later. I mean, the panic, but you have more resources, obviously, on land than you would, obviously, on a floating around on a boat. But yeah, the hiking thing, that's those two girls from, gonna have to talk about them sometime because it's really interesting and it's still unknown whether there was foul play or they got lost or they got hurt and then got separated and then died out there. But well, if I have to make a choice, I would say, well, if I'm bringing in the shipwreck, which it was not my question, I'm going to have to agree with that because there's too many things in the woods that could kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not just bears. I mean, there's all kind of crazy stuff in the woods.
Yeah.
And also, what if it's those pine trees and there's no way to climb up the pine tree? I just no way.
Yeah.
And also in the woods, because of all the trees, it's going to get cold at night and you could freeze and get hypothermia. At least if you're on a beach, the chances are it might be pretty warm, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're shipwrecked in Iceland.
Yeah, because I don't think Tom Hanks, I don't think there was ever a scene where he was cold, right? He was running around in that homemade loincloth. So I think, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's much more. And he had all that seafood. Seafood is so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wait. So you're going to love this because my number 4 question, it's like we're on the same plane. It literally is about an island.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Would you rather be stuck on an island alone or with someone you can't stand or hate?
Oh, Lord. I'm going to have to say with someone I can't stand or hate because
right.
Imagine being alone. I think that would cause so much anxiety. I would have so much more anxiety being alone than being with somebody I hate.
Yeah, because you don't know how long you're going to be there. You're stranded.
I mean, look at Tom Hanks. He, his best friend was the volleyball, Wilson.
Yep.
That, like, if you say it to someone who's never seen it, let's pretend it's an alien that's come down and explain this guy is, he's not shipwrecked, but he crashes and he's on an island. And there's no one for 4 years. And this volleyball is his companion. They'd probably be like, "What? That's so silly. It doesn't make sense." But when you watch that movie, when Wilson is floating away and he's like, Wilson, I'm sorry. And he's trying to go, oh, it's like unbelievable how.
Yeah. He assigned a personality to that ball.
Yeah.
And that was his constant companion.
Mm-hmm.
And psychologically, that probably kept him from losing his marbles.
So interesting. Oh my God, it makes me want to go watch that movie again. So I would have to say, yeah, I don't care. Even if I hated them, they were another human being because I probably wouldn't be in the same situation as Tom Hanks and there probably wouldn't be a volleyball there to keep me company. So I'd say I'd go with the person I hate for sure. I can't imagine being on an island by myself day in and day out for God knows how long. I think I would lose seriously, anxiety, panic attacks. Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah. No, I can't imagine.
So you say the same?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would rather be there with somebody I can't stand the other thing is, I think that it would be a great story after. You could write a book how I was stranded on a desert island with like my nemesis or my arch rival or like, the person I hated most on the planet.
And then we
You
fell
know
in
what?
love.
Yeah. What would be great would be like to name like 3 people that you hate, and then you'd have to pick which one you hated the most, and then that's the person you're with. Because, it's easy to say with someone you hate, but what if they were actual people with names?
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
you really have to dig deep. Because, plus, think
I
about it. What if you didn't have any food and then you ended up having to eat somebody? Like, then that, you have to eat the person you
then
hate.
you'd
Like,
really
oh,
want it somebody that you hate because you'd have an easier time cutting them up and frying them over the
ew.
barbecuing them. Um, yeah. Oh, okay. So
I like how
interesting.
we're stranded on an island, but you've turned it into a barbecue. Like, how did you get the fire? Like, and where's
Remember
the
Tom
where's the
Hanks?
where's the barbecue sauce?
No, well, in my mind, it'd be barbecue sauce. But remember, he builds the first fire, and he's like, "Fire!"
Oh,
He
and
can't
I would
believe he
like
did
to
it.
think that after watching so many episodes of Survivor, that I could figure out how to start fire
Right?
on my own, right? With 2
Exactly.
sticks, like rub
Yes.
them together until you blisters.
Yeah. 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 Remember, he was so. He built that huge bonfire on the beach, and he was just like,
Yep.
"Fire! Oh, I have built fire." I mean, yeah. So it's possible. So I could have my cannibalism would involve barbecue.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Um, okay. This last question comes from a movie of M. Night Shyamalan that I just saw, which was not a good movie. I don't know what my man is doing, but Servant is brilliant. But every other movie he's done since Sixth Sense. I mean, some of them, I like The Village, but this one
I
was.
like Signs. Signs was our
Oh,
favorite.
Signs was good too, but this
Yeah.
one, but it was an interesting, very interesting concept. It started off really promising and then just didn't execute. But my
Oh.
question is, would you rather save the world or save your family? Because
Oh,
in this movie, these people show up to it's a gay couple and they have um, an Asian daughter. Oh, she's so cute. She was a really good actress. She's probably about 7 or something. Um, and these people, so they're at their they're in this cabin. It's called Knock at the Cabin, Knock on the Cabin, something like that. It's on Peacock. Um, so they're vacationing. It's their cabin in the woods, and these people show up and they tell them that you have to choose which person in your family is going to die or the world is going to end. And of course, they're like, "Shut up. How are we going to believe you?" And then it goes through this series of stuff where they show them on the news, and it's really just kind of dumb after that. But I thought the initial concept, the initial question was interesting. So in that concept, explaining that to you now, would you
I would
rather save the
I would
world or your family?
I would save my family.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I
I
was rooting. I was rooting for them. I was like, screw the world.
Yeah. I mean, here's the other thing too is that like it's such a interesting concept. And I mean, if you think about it, if you wanted, you'd have to have a serious, and I'm not saying this for people across the board, but one, I think you'd have to be a little bit of a narcissist to have a God complex to think that you could potentially save the world.
No, but let's say
Because,
well, that's part of the movie. It was like, come on, are you guys serious? Because who's going to believe that?
mhm.
But let's say it's for real. Let's put it to like it is real. You're either going to save the world or save your family.
I mean, I think that the only problem I have with saving my family is, does that mean all the other families in the world are gone?
That's what.
Because
So yeah.
technically, if your family's the only family left, then it's going to be a little bit, I mean, you're all going to die out anyway someday, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, Yeah, I mean, I guess, at some point you have to either decide, are we going to be biblical, or am I going to be like a god and try to save the world? I mean, I guess that's just but if we're just taking it for face value, either save your family or save the world, and because, people might still survive on their own if they're really good or wily, then I would say save my family because that's the most important thing.
Mhm.
But but yeah, I mean, I, of course, saving the world, it's like, because you save the world, you're saving all the bad people, you're saving all the criminals, you're saving all the serial killers and axe murderers, you're saving all the cheats and drug dealers and the blah, 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 all those people. You're saving all the narcissists, you're saving all the losers, you're saving all the people who abuse their children or abuse their wives or abuse their husbands or, cheaters. You're saving all the, you're saving all those like, just like crazy people and
Mhm.
like nut jobs. So I don't know if I really want to throw those people a bone, but I definitely would want to save my family.
Yeah, because the concept in the movie was they had to choose. So it was the two guys and the daughter, right? Obviously, they're not going to kill the daughter. So they had to choose which one of them was going to die. And for me, it was like, no, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, just because you're saving the world, I mean, how's that going to affect your family? Like, they say, the saying, think locally, act globally. So I would think locally, think just my family. And hopefully, in saving my family, I would somehow also manage to
Affect.
impact the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But it was interesting. And they couldn't commit suicide. So they couldn't kill themselves. They had to pick one. They had to kill one person. It was a very M. Night Shyamalan, he comes up with some good ideas, and then sometimes it just doesn't. It goes just downhill. It just goes south. And this one, I was half paying attention to it. One of them ends up killing himself at the end. I wasn't even watching it because it just couldn't hold my attention. But in the beginning, the concept was really interesting. So anyway, that's how I got that question.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to my last question. And it's kind of a fluffy question, but actually, if you think about it, it's not. Would you rather cheat on your significant other or be cheated on?
Oh, be cheated on.
Yeah, that's my answer too. Why?
And I have been cheated on. Because.
Why? Because of the guilt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the guilt would be more than the sorrow of, yeah. I have so much guilt about so many things. Like, I think any more guilt is going to crush me into the earth. Guilt is a very hard emotion to carry on your back.
It's true.
It really is. And I'm going to actually start bursting into tears, Joy. This is not a fluffy question. Oh my gosh.
It is kind of a fluffy.
Gee, well, what are you? We're talking about infidelity. How can this be fluffy?
No. I know, but I will say that yeah, I've been cheated on too. I will say that but I've never been cheated on in marriage, and I've never cheated in marriage. If you had asked me this question when I was single, I would have said I would have rather been the cheater. But now that I'm married, I would say I would rather be cheated on. Because, I mean, it's different. Marriage is different. I don't think I could forgive myself, but I think I could forgive myself.
Exactly. Thank you.
Right?
The end. Goodbye. Show's over.
The end.
Drop the mic. Because no, that is the perfect way of putting it. Perfect. Yeah. Exactly. So I'd rather be cheated. Yes.
Well,
yes.
Even though we didn't talk about murder today, you know what is a crime?
What's that, Joy?
That we are out of time.
Oh my God, that's right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.